Hello again, and welcome back to Legally Cited. This is Jesse, aka BGFH, and I am back for yet another event update video. And this is going to be a Saturday video, so I'm recording this the day before. And as of yesterday, you may have seen a tweet from me, kind of teasing some announcement. I had kind of some exciting news, and we will definitely get to that. But I'm going to leave that for the end of the video. Build the suspense a little more because, why not? But yeah, anyway, just have a few other things I wanted to cover before that announcement. So, first off, again, thank you to everybody who is supporting the channel, sharing the videos, and commenting and having interesting conversations on Twitter. When I recorded the last channel New Year's update video early January, about a week ago, we were just getting over 1,300 subscribers. And now we're almost at 1,370. We're at like 1,368, which is kind of crazy. It's just went, sometimes the subscriptions and stuff go in spurts, but we're kind of on a hot streak right now. So yeah, thanks a lot and keep them coming. And again, thank you for spreading the word and all that good stuff. So, a few of the things I want to talk about. In the last channel update video, I hadn't seen the movie yet, but I have watched the Bird Box movie on Netflix. It's called Bird Box, and it's this weird... I would say the movie is kind of meh. I wouldn't say it's terrible, but I wouldn't say it's great either. Basically, there's this presence that tries to... If you see this invisible presence, it kind of makes you go crazy and try to kill yourself. So, yay, I guess. And so what people are doing the whole movie is they're blindfolding themselves while outside because then they shouldn't do it. Apparently the presence can't go through doors or solid objects or something because, even if you see it through open windows, you can get... you can get affected and go crazy and then try to off yourself, as happened in a different part of the movie. So, like I said, the whole thing with this Bird Box challenge thing that's been going on, people are, in real life, they're trying to, record themselves doing either normal things, stupid things, unsafe things, and I just think it's kind of a stupid deal. I'm not watching any of these videos just because I don't really want to support it and feed into it anymore. But basically people are trying to, do daily tasks or, navigate their neighborhood. Or I've heard of one video, somebody mentioned a video on Twitter where somebody was trying to help someone drive blindfolded. And I just don't like it because I retweeted an article the other day that I think summed things up pretty well. So if you follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, you can find a link to that article. But, it actually kind of does harm to the perception of blind people more, I think, than a lot of people already have. Because, they're doing this thing for attention. They're doing it for views. They're doing it because, hey, this is the fad. I'm going to blindfold myself and act stupid. Ha 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 ha, And, at any time, they can just take off the blindfold and they're fully sighted again. But they're not receiving any training. They're not, learning how to do things properly. They're not learning how to do things safely. And so, even if you're trying to do something simple around the house and you trip or you cut yourself or you bang your head on a cabinet door or something, I don't know. You're not, like I said, you're not getting the proper training that a lot of blind and low vision people have to go through because, again, as you're growing up, a lot of sighted individuals don't really need a lot of this training because they can just watch their family. They can watch their parents or brothers and sisters or whatever do, daily living tasks or learn how, watch people crossing the street and go, oh, okay, you go when the light is green and I can see it. And, just all these simple things that a lot of people take for granted. But maybe blind or visually impaired people have to actually, do things a little bit differently. And, so what happens then is, they have this short experience where they're under a blindfold, and then, God forbid, they encounter a blind person in real life or a person with low vision in real life, and they're like, oh God, their expectations are even lowered because they'll think, man, I remember that one time I tried to do this simple thing blindfolded and it was a complete disaster. I either hurt myself or made a mess or got lost or whatever the scenario happened to be. So again, it kind of just says, oh, well, a lot of people generally, I said before, people think that either blind people are like Daredevil and they have super sensitive hearing and can like detect things by sonar and do all kinds of crazy superhuman things with their remaining senses, or they think they're completely inept and basically can't dress themselves, or like, what, you work or you live on your own? How do you do that? It's like, no, of course you can. But so that's a little spiel on the Bird Box Challenge. I've watched the movie. It was meh, whatever. I'm not going to give any more attention to these people that are trying these Bird Box Challenges things, but just don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, a lot of it, what they're trying to do is not safe anyway. So, enough about the Bird Box Challenge. A lot of other things have happened since the last update video. And if I would have remembered half of that, I maybe wouldn't have even done that New Year's video. I might have just waited a week and done the video that I'm doing now. But there was some interesting gaming news that happened, yesterday or the day before? Bungie, the makers of Halo and now Destiny, which I really haven't gotten into. I really just haven't had the desire to play. But they were, once they started working on Destiny, they really partnered with Activision. Yeah, well, they've split ways. Bungie wants to be independent again, and it sounded like there was a lot of interference from Activision about how they were making the game, and it's like, oh, we want you to monetize it this way, and you should design the gameplay so that, I don't know, that so that it works like this and appeals to this type of audience, not necessarily a niche audience, but we want you to apply, appeal to everybody, and we can monetize the hell out of them and whatever. I mean, I'm sure that, Bungie would have made some mistakes on their own too, but I think Bungie did interfere quite a bit. And, I think that's a good thing. I hope that they can kind of right the ship a little bit more and kind of, do what they want to with Destiny and future projects. They did retain the Destiny franchise, so they can kind of move forward and do whatever they want with their Destiny 2 and updates and things like that. But, thinking about that, though, I really kind of wish that other companies were able to kind of split, because there's been so many mergers in everything technology. I mean, the blindness field, VFO, yeah. Anyway, but then you have all these other game companies like EA and EA is really frustrating because, again, I know they're doing accessibility things with the EA Sports, with Madden and those types of things. But other than that, I really don't like EA, because what do? They take a great studio like BioWare or Criterion or whoever, they're doing a good thing on their own, and then they get bought out, and then usually they have to make some changes, like what they did with Dead Space. The Dead Space 1 was awesome, 2 was pretty cool, and I didn't even play 3 because everyone said that was a disaster. But there's all these franchises and all these companies that once these big publishers come in, I mean, I know they provide financial help sometimes, but they're too involved, and I know they're companies, they need to make money, but everything's about the bottom line. And, once good franchises or once good developers just go to crap, or EA just shuts them down because, oh, well, this didn't make enough money for us because you did the thing that we said we should do, and now it's just gone to shit. So, I don't know. I mean, I kind of wish that, maybe that more companies would be able to become independent and do their own thing, because, sometimes big publishers can be good, but like I said, we've just seen so many great small companies and good game franchises just be eaten and spit out and kind of gone to crap. I mean, look what happened to Dungeon Keeper. I won't even cover that on the channel. I won't even dignify that with a video, the iOS version. So that happened. That was a surprise. Did not see that coming. Then we had I forgot all about it. We had games done quick, or awesome games done quick. We have awesome games done quick in the beginning of the year, and then summer games done quick in like July, I believe it is. And I love these. Like, I'll go back. I don't get to watch a lot of it live because I'm working or busy doing other things. But like, if you like video games, if you want to see just ridiculous skill, watch some of these archives of either of the games done quick. I mean, anything from like these pro Tetris players to, if there's a game that you grew up with on the, on the earlier game systems like NES, Super Nintendo, whatever, or even current games. I mean, I didn't even know it was possible to be that good and just destroy some of these games. I mean, that being said, though, I like more of the runs that are, pure awesome skill gameplay where you go through and you play at least most of the game. The ones I don't really like, I know it takes a different skill too, but like, I don't like the runs where, a lot of first-person shooters do this because some of the geometry and stuff. Like, I don't like runs where the whole premise of the run is, instead of playing the whole game, we're gonna, beat the game in 14 minutes because, we found a way to basically go out of bounds and clip through the wall, and then you skip 90% of the level. Then level 2, you skip 95% of the level, and then you're just doing bunny hopping, or you're seeing weird glitches and clips. I mean, the weird glitches, where you kind of damage boost through an enemy or something like that, that's fine. But like, if I'm going to watch somebody play a game, I want to watch somebody play the game. I don't want it just to be like, oh, here's how I can skip 90% of it. I know it takes skill, but I'm just not into those speed runs as much. I want to watch the ones, and I like the fact that they're focusing, especially on a lot of the classic games that have been featured in the Games Done Quick several times before. A lot more of those are focused on races, where 2 to 3 or 4 people race, and those can be really fun to watch because they're just, everyone's really good, and like the slightest mistake, and then boom, somebody else catches the lead, and those are fun. So definitely check, that by the time this video comes out, I think AGDQ will be pretty much over, but they've done a really good job of releasing the archive videos on their YouTube channel. Just look up Games Done Quick and you'll find them. And especially the last couple of years, the other thing that I really like is they used to kind of describe what was going on, but in the beginning it wasn't too good. But the last couple of years, they've gotten really good about having somebody playing the game, but then also having somebody else describe like, oh, this is the strategy that they're doing, and this is how, like, oh, to save these a few frames here, they're going to do this, and just, it's really fascinating that, you just hearing how people have learned these games so well that they can just be like, oh, okay, we're going to cut down a few seconds here, we're going to do this strategy here, and where this is, it's just really fascinating to kind of learn how they can take advantage of some of these games and just destroy them. It's really fascinating. But check those out if you want to. Those are pretty awesome. I'm going to go back and watch some more archives myself this weekend for sure. But yeah. Also this last week, CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. I went to that in, 2003? 2001 or 2003, I can't even remember, but it was many years ago, and it was kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, I didn't follow it super closely because I was super busy at work this week, but I try to keep up on a few things here and there. I mean, to this time, the trends are, there's 2 different trends. There's a lot of TVs and monitors and things like that. That's where you see a lot of that stuff at CES. You get new computer monitors, new laptops, new monitors, all that kind of thing. And then you get just the weird stuff that's out there. You just get some things that are like prototypes that may or may not really ever come to market, but they're just concepts. And it's just fascinating to see what kind of ideas some of these companies are trying to experiment with. Alienware had a fascinating laptop, which I love the idea. There's this Alienware laptop that they're prototyping right now. I forget what it's called, but it's actually it's like a big laptop. It's not meant for super portability, but they've actually crammed these proprietary desktop parts in them, so it's meant to be taken apart so that, oh, you want to swap out a new CPU later, or you want to put in a new graphics card GPU, yeah, you can do that theoretically. The problem that I see, though, and I'm wondering how this is going to work in the future, is that these components, especially the graphics card, they're not like a big, ginormous desktop graphics card. They're like the mobile, the NVIDIA RTX mobile cards. But they've kind of made their own proprietary version of it because they want to make it smaller and fit in these little shells that they can put them in, these laptop shells. But, you can, if you get a lower card, you could upgrade all the way up to the, what is it, the 280 or I forget what they call the new one, but the RTX 280 or there's like the 250, 60, 70, 80. You can upgrade there, but what happens when the next generation comes? Are they going to be able to support that form factor so you can still keep your core? Maybe you could pop out and put a new processor in and put a new video card in, but who knows whether new chipsets or new graphics technology are going to be able to fit in that same form factor. So I love the idea, but because of its sort of proprietary hardware nature, I don't know what the long-term support can be for that. I mean, there was a thing a few years ago that was sort of interesting from a desktop perspective, and I can't remember if it was Razer or somebody else, but they had this. Basically, it was like this modular desktop computer where you had like this kind of big pole tower thing in the middle, and then you had these almost like cartridges that you just literally plugged into this thing. It's like, oh, here's your GPU, here's some hard drive, here's some liquid cooling, or here's some whatever thing, and it was kind of weird looking, but it was just this modular thing. But again, it was this proprietary. These proprietary, like I said, almost like cartridge things. So it just never really took off because they couldn't cram future tech into it. But I love the idea. Like I said, a lot of TVs. There was this foldable or this roll-up TV. What was it, like a 65-inch roll-up TV or something that was, I don't know, kind of neat, I suppose. They had a lot of other laptops. They did have a couple of new VR headsets, which I'm sort of intrigued about, but again, I have some worries. I mentioned this on Twitter too the other day. Vive has got a couple, or HTC has got a couple new headsets coming out. They have one that's kind of in between where it still connects to a phone or a computer, but it still has to be tethered to something. And then there's another one that actually is trying to use eye tracking. And that's more really high-end, meant for professionals at this point. But as a low vision user, I'm very worried about eye tracking. Even when they had eye tracking stuff in phones, where you look at something. I think the Samsung ones did that for a while. Maybe they still do. Hell, I don't know. But as somebody with low vision, as somebody with nystagmus or nystagmus, I always forget how to say it, but the rapid eye movement thing, how is that going to work? Because the technology that they're trying to implement in these VR headsets is where if you, to save on rendering and make the performance better, it'll track where your eye is looking, and then where you're looking will be crisp and sharp. The image will be crisp and sharp, but in your periphery, it may not have to render it quite as sharply. So, if you're gazing at one part of the screen or one part of the environment, that's what it'll render more clearly. But if you have nystagmus like I do, where your eyes just dart all over the place constantly, involuntarily, that's going to not work because, I don't know what it would do. I mean, if it tried to keep up with my eyes moving, you would actually ruin performance because the card would be darting all over the place. It's like, dude, what do you want me to render here? You're looking all over the place. I don't know if there's going to be an option to turn that eye tracking off, but I would hazard a guess to say that is something that these VR developers have not even thought of. I mean, People think of colorblind because that's fairly common, but I really doubt somebody has thought of, what about people with rapid eye movement? Because the vast majority of the general public doesn't have that. And that could be something that would really get in the way. And as I've said before, the headsets, if they don't connect to the computer and you don't mirror it to anything else, if you don't support head tracking and clear large text, I don't have the monitor to fall back on. So again, VR is very cool. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of things I love about it. But the further it goes along, and some of these portable and eye tracking technologies, I just don't know. I definitely have more concerns for future headsets than I do even the current generation. So, but yeah, CES, there is all kinds of stuff. All of the smart assistants, be it Google or who from Amazon, all those things were in there. All these products are getting things there. I guess Apple AirPlay 2 is supposed to be coming to a lot more devices like TVs and stuff. So, maybe it won't just be Chromecast or Google Cast, whatever it's called nowadays. So there's going to be some stuff coming there. You got your televisions, your speakers, or whatever, and then you got your weird stuff. The weirdest thing that I heard of is apparently somebody has a somebody bothered to, I don't know if it's a prototype or if they're actually planning on releasing this thing. Somebody made a smart toilet with Alexa in it. And I'm thinking, why would you do that? So I can tell it to listen to music while I take a dump? What? Alrighty. No, that just seems a little strange, I guess. But yeah, apparently somebody is making a smart toilet with a digital assistant from Amazon in it, which, yeah, alrighty. But not much really to talk about CES. There's a lot of people, I like The Verge. They have done a couple of podcasts. They've done a few write-ups on different categories. So if you're specifically interested in TVs or gaming or other categories, go check out some of those other tech places. And there's a lot of coverage on devices and what they found at CES. So that's about mainly what I wanted to talk about. But it is time now for the true cool part of the video. So I've been doing a little bit of planning over the last little while here. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it happen, but as I'm recording this on Friday, it looks like we are pretty much good to go, because I have been, the last couple of days especially, been trying to make all my arrangements and make them work. Yeah, I've talked about the GAConf, the Game Accessibility Conference. It is the third year of this one-day event in San Francisco, California. They had their first European version of it last October, but I was actually invited to be a panel member and kind of present this year if I could get down there. It was like, oh God, we're having this low vision panel on game and VR accessibility kind of stuff, and you should really come down there and be a part of it. Well, the good news is I am going to be going to San Francisco in March. GAConf is on Monday, March 18th, and I just got everything pretty much situated. I got my hotel, I got my plane ticket, and I got my registration for the actual conference ticket done. All that is in my email right now. So yeah, I made it work. I'm pretty excited because there's a lot of people that I follow on Twitter or that I've seen just in various places, talk to a little bit. And yeah, it's just going to be fun to meet all those people, and a lot of people that I haven't met. Probably get to see meet some game developers. God, maybe I can meet some VR developers and get in there so I can maybe really start trying to advocate and make something happen with this VR accessibility business. But yep, I am going to be a panel member on game accessibility this year. Game accessibility for low vision. I don't have all of the details as to what exactly I'll be chatting about, but I am very excited to see the other panels, and I can get my word out there a little bit more and just be a part of it. So I've ever since the first year, since they had it a couple of years ago, I'm like, man, I would love to attend this one year. But yeah, it looks like this is the year I'm going to do it, and I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know I think, was it last fall? It wasn't an official feed, but I think somebody might have streamed some of the sessions, and then they do upload them eventually. They do put them on YouTube eventually, so you will get to see an archive of all of the sessions, including the one I'm going to be in later on. But I don't know that it's going to officially be streamed, but you guys will get to see it eventually. And once I get back from GAConf, I'm sure I'll do a event update video and let you guys know how that went, who I met, what kind of things might come of that, what kind of things might happen in the future. So yeah, I am going to be presenting at the Game Accessibility Conference in just a couple of months. That is pretty awesome. So I'm going to wrap it up here. That is the big exciting news that I have. I wanted to kind of maybe say something about it today on Twitter, but I'm like, no, there's a few other things I want to talk about on a video. Let's just record a video and draw it out a little more. So thanks again for all of your support, and keep the likes and comments and subscribes coming. I've been having great conversations with quite a few people on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at BGFH79. You can also follow me on Mixer, mixer.com/BGFH. I've been trying to do streams a lot of the weekends lately, so maybe I'll get one done sometime this weekend. You never can tell. But yeah, keep all the likes and subscribes and all that coming. And until next time, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm excited to be a part of this year's GAConf. And until next time, I will chat with you guys again later.